Faith and fear both demand the same thing from you, belief in something unseen. But one lifts you while the other chains you. Here's the truth. Most people unknowingly choose fear simply because it feels familiar. But you chose differently. You chose faith. And that choice has already marked you as rare. Drop a 77 in the comments if you've ever walked by faith when everything around you screamed fear. Let the world see you, because this message is for you. Studies show that 85% of the things people worry about never happen. Fear is a master deceiver, trapping people in prisons built from illusions. But faith is different. It doesn't demand evidence, it demands courage. Faith is the bridge between your struggle and your destiny. And here's something powerful. Someone has taken notice. Not just anyone, but someone influential. Someone who sees what most people overlook. They've seen your silent battles, your lonely prayers, your resilience when everything tried to break you. And now, they're ready to reward you in ways you cannot imagine. This isn't luck, it's alignment. And as this unfolds, remember, you were chosen not because it was easy, but because you proved you could handle the weight of greatness. The rewards of faith are never random, they are earned. And what's coming your way is long overdue. Faith over fear, the investment paying off. Faith is not a wish. It's a currency, the rarest and most powerful in existence. And you spent it wisely. When others clung to fear for a false sense of safety, you made the ultimate investment. You bet everything on the unseen. You didn't just believe in possibility, you acted on it. You walked away from comfort, sacrificed certainty, and pressed forward into the unknown. And now, your faith is paying dividends. Most people choose fear because it feels safer. Fear offers the illusion of control. Prepare for the worst, expect disappointment. But you saw through that lie. You understood that fear is the most expensive price you could pay because it steals your future before it even arrives. Fear is a thief, but faith is a builder, and you chose to build. But here's what makes your reward so powerful. Faith never gives quick returns. It tests your patience, demands your endurance, and often makes you look foolish before it proves you wise. Yet you stayed the course. You kept believing when every sign pointed to failure. You kept building when the ground beneath you felt unstable. You kept trusting when the world told you to give up. That kind of endurance doesn't just attract blessings, it attracts recognition from those who can multiply your impact. And now, someone influential has noticed not just your success, but your process. They saw how you stood firm when fear whispered every reason to quit. They saw how you refused to trade faith for doubt. And because of that, what's coming to you isn't luck, it's earned. By the way, if you believe in the power of this message and want to help this channel continue inspiring chosen ones like you, consider using the Super Thanks feature. Your support helps us reach more souls walking the same path of faith and resilience. And trust me, just like your faith, that support is a seed that will multiply. Lies of fear breaking free from its control. Fear is a master of deception. It doesn't need facts to control you, only your attention. It arrives as a whisper. What if you fail? What if you're not enough? But here's the truth. Fear doesn't need to be true to stop you. It only needs to be believed. And most people believe it not because it's real, but because it's loud. Fear disguises itself as wisdom, calling itself caution. It pretends to be protection when it's really a prison. It offers false safety. Don't take the risk. Don't dream too big, stay where it's comfortable. But comfort zones are just cages with the bars painted gold. But you did something different. You starved your fear, and anything that is starved eventually dies. Fear only grows when it's fed your focus. The more you entertain it, the stronger it becomes. It starts as a whisper of doubt, but grows into a voice that commands your every move. That's why most people live their lives stuck. Because they give fear just enough power to dictate their choices, keeping them trapped in a cycle of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. But you broke the cycle. You refused to feed fear the one thing it craves, your attention. Instead, you fed your faith. You chose to walk by what you believed, not by what you feared. And here's the beautiful thing. When fear is starved, it doesn't just fade, it loses its power over you forever. And this is why someone influential is taking notice. because strength like yours is impossible to ignore. People admire talent, but they follow courage. They seek those who don't just talk about boldness but live it. And when they find someone who has mastered the art of starving fear, they don't just watch, they invest. Not because they never felt fear themselves, but because they wish they had the same strength to starve it the way you did. Refined by fire, the transformation through trials. Most people see their struggles as tests, something to survive, something to endure. But you understood something deeper. Your trials weren't tests, they were a refining process. There was never a question of whether you'd survive. The real purpose of the fire was to transform you. Fire doesn't just test gold, it purifies it. It burns away the impurities, leaving only what is real and valuable. That's exactly what your trials did. They didn't come to break you, they came to reveal you. They stripped away every fear, every doubt, every insecurity. They burned off everything that wasn't meant for your future. The fire removed the need for approval because you learned to walk alone. It burned away false friendships because you learned who truly stood with you. It stripped you of shallow desires because you learned what truly mattered. What you walked through wasn't a test, it was a transformation. The version of you that entered the fire isn't the version that's walking out. You are sharper, stronger, wiser, and most of all ready. And someone influential noticed. But here's the secret. They weren't looking for someone who simply survived hardship. They were looking for someone who had been refined by it. Because true greatness isn't found in those who had it easy, it's found in those who were forged in the fire. People who understand greatness know what to look for. They don't search for perfect paths. They search for purified souls. They saw the clarity in your vision, the confidence in your steps, the depth in your character. And they knew that's not something that can be faked. That's not something that can be fast-tracked. It's something only fire can create. The reward coming your way isn't because you endured the fire, it's because you were transformed by it. You didn't just make it through the fire, you made the fire bow to you. And now, the world is about to see what the fire revealed. A chosen one, refined, unshakable, unstoppable. You were seen when you thought you were invisible. You thought no one noticed. The silent battles, the lonely nights, the sacrifices that drained you but never seemed to pay off. You told yourself, maybe this is all for nothing. Maybe no one sees me. Maybe no one cares. But here's the truth. You were seen, and not by just anyone, by someone who knows exactly what real greatness looks like. Someone who understands that the most powerful performances happen when the audience is nowhere to be found. Most people think they need the spotlight to be recognized. They chase applause, followers, and validation. But you never needed a stage to prove your worth. You weren't performing, you were becoming. You kept showing up when there was no reward. You kept believing when there was no proof. You kept building when there was no applause. And in those unseen moments, someone was watching. Someone who understands that raw conviction, the kind that doesn't need an audience, is the rarest thing of all. The truth is, the world only celebrates the finished product. But those who matter, the ones with real power to change your life, they value the process. And they've been watching yours. They saw you hold on when everything told you to let go. They saw you show up when quitting felt easier. They saw you choose character over convenience, faith over fear. And now they are ready to respond. But let this be clear, this isn't about luck or charity, it's about alignment. Your unseen endurance was the audition for a stage you didn't even know existed. And now, the spotlight is coming. The recognition isn't coming from those you expected, but from those who truly matter. The kind who don't hand out rewards, they open doors. The kind who don't applaud performances, they promote integrity. And when they move, they don't just bring you into the room, they build the room around you. You were never invisible. You were simply being prepared, where only the right eyes could see you. Mastering the storm, how you took power over adversity. Most people run from storms. They beg for the rain to stop, the winds to calm, and the chaos to end. But not you. You didn't wait for the storm to pass, you walked through it. And you didn't walk through it begging, you walked through it with authority. That's why the storm didn't break you, it bowed to you. Here's what most people don't understand. Storms aren't punishments, they are platforms. They reveal who commands the atmosphere. And you didn't shrink when the skies darkened. You moved forward when most people would have stood still. You didn't wait for conditions to be perfect because you understood something deeper. Storms don't get to decide your destiny. You do. Storms test many, but they crown few. Most crumble under pressure, waiting for clearer skies to move. But you knew storms were not there to destroy you, but to reveal you. You learned to speak to the storm, not bow to it. You understood that chaos doesn't control the chosen command the chaos. And that's exactly why someone influential is drawn to you. They saw something rare, leadership under pressure. They weren't looking for someone who never faced storms, they were looking for someone who mastered them. Here's what's happening now. Doors are opening, not because you escaped the storm, but because you conquered it. You didn't ask for easy wins, you commanded the winds that came. And now, those who watched from afar, the ones who understand true strength, are stepping forward. But know this, their interest isn't in your survival story, it's in your strategy. They see that you are not just someone who survives adversity, you are someone who uses it. Because storms don't last forever, but the authority you gained in them, that stays. And now that you've walked through the storm, every room you enter will feel it. The winds may have howled, but you howled back. And now, the storm knows your name. Unshakable obedience, the rare quality that sets you apart. Obedience. It's a word most people avoid because it sounds like submission. But here's the secret. Obedience isn't submission, it's power. And most people fail to reach greatness not because they lack talent, but because they lack obedience. But you are different. You followed the path even when it didn't make sense. You stayed the course when shortcuts seemed quicker. You obeyed the voice inside you when everything around you said, "It's pointless. Just quit." That's why you are rare, because obedience isn't about convenience. It's about commitment. Most people bend when the pressure hits. They compromise when the road gets lonely. They take the easy exit when obedience feels costly. But you didn't. You kept your integrity when nobody was watching. You chose principles over popularity. You stayed loyal to your vision even when there was no visible reward. And here's what most people don't understand. True obedience is tested in the dark, when there's no applause, no proof, no promise of payoff. But your obedience did something most people never experience. It built trust. Trust with yourself, trust with your destiny, and trust with those who hold the keys to opportunities you can't even see. Because here's the truth. People with power are looking for one thing, someone they can trust. And trust isn't built in easy times. It's built in struggle. It's built when you keep showing up long after the excitement is gone. It's built when you stay the course, even when it costs you. And now that trust is about to pay off. Someone influential has been watching, and they saw what most people miss: consistency without applause, obedience without conditions, loyalty without guarantees. And that's what makes you valuable, not just your talent, but your character. So if you feel like your season of obedience has been long, know this: it's about to be rewarded, not just because you endured, but because you didn't waver. The rarest thing in the world is someone who can't be bought, can't be shaken, and won't sell out. And that is exactly who you are. Sacrifices and delayed rewards, your harvest is overdue. Every late night, every hard choice, every time you gave when you had nothing left. You called it sacrifice, but heaven called it investment. And here's the truth: your harvest is not just coming, it's overdue. Most people misunderstand sacrifice. They see it as loss. They think it's about giving up. But you knew better. You knew sacrifice isn't subtraction, it's multiplication waiting to happen. The problem is multiplication takes time, and time breaks most people. That's why so many never see their harvest. They quit in the middle. They walk away before the return. But you stayed, you kept planting, you kept sowing, you kept believing, even when the soil was dry. Even when there was no sign of rain, you understood something most people never grasp. The ground may delay, but it never denies. You knew that the seed you plant doesn't vanish, it multiplies beneath the surface. And here's what's happening now: the ground is breaking, the roots have reached their limit, and what you thought was a drought was actually a buildup. Someone influential has seen your consistency. They saw how you kept pouring out when it felt like you were getting nothing back. They saw how you chose purpose over convenience. And they didn't just see your faith, they saw your follow through. But understand this, the harvest coming your way isn't a gift. It's a return. Every sacrifice you made was a deposit, and now it's time for withdrawal. And here's the best part, the return is never equal to the seed, it's multiplied. Because in the spiritual economy, sacrifice is never about losing, it's about planting. And when the harvest arrives, it's always more than you sowed. So if you've been wondering, when will it be my time? When will I see the return? The answer is now, not because of luck, not because of favor, but because of alignment. The delay wasn't denial, it was interest accruing. And now, the payout isn't just coming, it's coming with interest. Your harvest is overdue, and overdue harvests don't trickle in, they flood. The waiting season where preparation meets opportunity. Waiting, it's a season most people despise because it feels like nothing is happening. But here's what they don't understand. Waiting is never about time. It's about transformation. And you didn't just wait. You mastered the waiting season. Most people crumble in waiting. They grow restless, they force what's not ready, or they sit in idleness hoping something changes. But you knew the truth. Waiting is not a pause. It's a process. It's the time where roots grow deep, where wisdom sharpens, and where your spirit becomes unbreakable. You didn't waste the wait, you worked the wait. While others complained, you prepared. While they chased shortcuts, you built character. While they grew bitter, you grew better. And here's what most people miss. Opportunity never finds the unprepared. The reward for waiting isn't just what you get, it's who you become. You didn't just wait for the door to open, you became the person worthy to walk through it. That's why someone influential is about to take notice. Not because of what you did, but because of how you waited. They saw your patience without passivity. They saw you build without applause. They saw that you weren't waiting for a season, you were becoming the season. And now the waiting is over. The doors are about to open, not because time passed, but because you are ready. Most people want harvest without planting, victory without battles, promotion without preparation. But you earned this. You didn't just endure the process, you embraced it. And now, when the opportunity arrives, you won't just walk into it, you'll own it. Because you didn't just survive the wait, you mastered it. The road less taken, why it made you chosen. The easy road is crowded, wide, comfortable, full of instant gratification and quick applause. But you didn't choose it. You chose the road that demanded more of you, the one that was harder, lonelier, and filled with obstacles. And that's why you are chosen. Most people avoid this path because it costs too much. It costs comfort. It costs relationships. It costs the luxury of fitting in. But here's what you understood: the hard road isn't a punishment. It's a promotion in disguise. It doesn't block your destiny, it builds it. It strips away what's weak and leaves only what's worthy. It doesn't make you, it reveals you. While others blended into the crowd, you stood out by standing firm. You could have compromised. You could have taken shortcuts. You could have done what everyone else was doing. But you didn't. And that's what makes you rare. People who have real power don't search for those who followed the easy road. They search for those who had every reason to quit, but didn't. They're looking for people who earn their character in the shadows. People who are refined by pressure, not crushed by it. That's why someone influential has noticed you, not because you chased the spotlight, but because you became the light. You didn't follow trends, you set them. You didn't choose popularity, you chose purpose. And now, the recognition coming your way isn't random. It's a response. A response to every hard choice you made when no one was watching. So understand this, you weren't chosen at random. You were chosen because you proved you could handle it. You didn't avoid the hard road, you mastered it. And now, that road isn't just leading you to destiny, it's crowning you with it. Faith as strategy building before seeing the results. Most people think faith is a feeling, something soft, something passive. But here's the truth, faith is a strategy, it's a system. It's not just believing, it's building. It's the ability to act before you see results, to move forward when everything says, stop. And you didn't just talk faith, you lived it. Faith is not waiting for perfect conditions. It's creating them. It's building the boat before the rain, planting the seed before you see a sprout. It's taking action when nothing makes sense. And you built when there was no proof. You moved when there was no progress. You acted as if the promise was already fulfilled, even when you had nothing but faith to hold on to. That's not blind optimism. That's strategy. Because here's what you understood: faith moves faster than evidence. By the time proof arrives, the opportunity has passed. But you didn't wait for evidence. You became the evidence. And now someone influential has recognized that. They see that you weren't just hoping for success, you were preparing for it. You weren't waiting for doors to open, you were getting ready to walk through them. And here's the power of faith as a strategy: it multiplies what it touches. Faith never returns what you invested, it exceeds it. Because faith doesn't just build, it attracts. It pulls opportunities, resources, and relationships into alignment with your belief. So if you've been building with no results, know this: the reward is never at the start, it's always at the finish. But make no mistake, what's coming isn't a surprise, it's a return. And when it arrives, you won't just receive it, you'll own it. Because you didn't just believe for it, you built for it. When influence finds you, it's not luck, it's alignment. Influence, everyone wants it. Few understand it, fewer still can carry it. That's why influence doesn't just land anywhere. It finds those who are ready for it. And you didn't chase influence. You became the kind of person it chases. Here's what most people don't understand: influence is not a privilege, it's a responsibility. And responsibility only rests on those who have proven they can carry it without being crushed by it. Influence is heavy. It demands wisdom, strength, and character that can only be forged under pressure. And you've been forged. Someone influential has noticed you, but not because of your talent. Talent is common. It's because of your capacity. Capacity to lead without losing yourself. Capacity to influence without being influenced. Capacity to hold power without letting power hold you. They didn't see perfection, they saw preparation. They saw someone who didn't need applause to be consistent. Someone who could be trusted when no one was watching. Here's what's happening now: influence is not rewarding you, it's recognizing you. Because you didn't chase it, you became worthy of it. You didn't knock down doors, you outgrew the rooms you were in. And now, the doors can't stay closed. But let's be clear, influence doesn't come to lift you up. It comes to level you up. With more influence comes more weight, more responsibility, and more impact. But that's why it's coming to you, because you didn't just show up for the opportunity, you showed up for the assignment. So if you're wondering why now, it's not luck, it's alignment. It's the moment when preparation meets opportunity. And when influence finds you, it's not to test you, it's to crown you. You were your own prophet before anyone believed. Before anyone believed in you, you did. Before anyone spoke greatness over you, you declared it yourself. And that's why you're standing where you are now. Most people wait for permission, you gave it to yourself. You didn't need applause to move. You didn't need validation to build. You didn't need anyone to tell you that you were chosen. You knew it before they ever saw it. Here's what separates you from the rest. You spoke your future into existence when there was no evidence to back it up. You weren't just hoping, you were prophesying. You declared success when all you had was struggle. You spoke victory when everything looked like defeat. You didn't wait for proof before you moved first, because you understood something most people never will. Faith doesn't follow sight, sight follows faith. Most people need external validation to act. They wait for signs, for applause, for someone to confirm their calling. But you didn't wait, you walked. You built when there was no blueprint. You moved when the path wasn't clear. You invested when there was no guarantee. And now, the world is catching up to what you've always known. You were built for this. Someone influential has noticed you, but not because you suddenly became great. It's because your greatness is now undeniable. They see the results of what you prophesied over yourself long ago. They see the manifestation of what you refused to let die. And here's the truth. This isn't your breakthrough, it's your confirmation. It's the world finally recognizing what your spirit knew all along. Most people think success happens when others acknowledge them. But real success, it happens when you acknowledge yourself first. You didn't wait for someone to hand you a crown. You became royalty long before they saw it. And now, the recognition, the opportunities, the doors, they're not opening because you changed. They're opening because you stayed true to what you prophesied all along. Your past didn't disqualify you, it became your resume. By every logical standard, you shouldn't be here. Your past should have counted you out. The struggles, the setbacks, the failures, but here you are, not despite your past, but because of it. Your past didn't disqualify you, it qualified you. It didn't break you, it built you. The world tells you that a perfect past is what makes you worthy. That the right background, the right connections, and the right track record open doors. But here's what they don't understand. Greatness is never born from perfection. It's born from overcoming. And you turned every failure into fuel, every setback into a setup, every loss into a lesson. Someone influential has been watching, and they see something most people miss: proof. Proof that you don't quit. Proof that you can rebuild. Proof that you can handle pressure. They aren't looking for someone who's never fallen. They're looking for someone who knows how to get back up. Because anyone can succeed when things are easy, but only the rare can rise when everything goes wrong. That's why this moment is happening, not despite your past, but because of it. Every rejection, every closed door, every heartbreak, it wasn't happening to you. It was happening for you. It was building a story so powerful that when the right person saw it, they knew you weren't just a survivor. You were a masterpiece. So understand this. You're walking into rooms you never thought you'd enter, not because you took the easy path, but because you proved you could survive the hard one. Your past isn't a liability, it's your resume. And now, the very things that should have disqualified you are the reasons you're being chosen. Not a reward, but a promotion for your next assignment. Most people think this is the finish line, that the recognition, the breakthrough, the opportunity means they've arrived. But you know better. This isn't a reward, it's a promotion. And promotions aren't about comfort, they're about capacity. You see, faithfulness always leads to promotion, but promotion doesn't mean you've finished. It means you've been entrusted. Entrusted with more influence, more responsibility, more impact. And here's the truth. Every battle you fought, every hardship you endured, every test you passed, it wasn't just to bring you here. It was to prepare you for what's next. Someone influential noticed you, not just because you deserve a blessing, but because they see your capacity for more. They see someone who can be trusted with greater influence, bigger platforms, and higher stakes. And make no mistake, this next level isn't about comfort. It's about assignment. This isn't just about receiving, it's about leading, about stepping into a space where you're not just blessed, you're a blessing, where you're not just breaking through for yourself, you're breaking barriers for others. And that's why the process was so intense. That's why the pressure was so great, because this was never just about elevation. It was about impact. What's opening now isn't just a door, it's a platform. And you're not walking into it because you arrived, you're walking into it because you've been assigned. So understand this clearly, this isn't a prize, it's a promotion. And promotions don't end the battle, they increase it. But here's the difference, you're ready, because you didn't just survive the process, you became the process. You didn't just make it through, you mastered it. And now, it's time to step into what was always meant for you. You weren't just chosen, you were proven. Most people think being chosen is about luck. They think it's about favor, chance, or being in the right place at the right time. But here's what they don't understand, being chosen isn't about luck. It's about proof. And you weren't just chosen, you were proven. For too long, you walked a path that felt invisible. You fought battles in silence. You endured seasons when nothing seemed to change. You held on when most people would have let go. But what you didn't realize was this: heaven was watching. Influence was waiting. And now, what you carried in the dark is being revealed in the light. Someone influential took notice. But the truth is, you were never unnoticed. Every act of faith, every moment of obedience, every decision to keep going when quitting seemed easier, it all added up. And here's the part most people miss. You weren't just being tested, you were being proven. Most people want to be chosen, but they don't want to be proven. They want elevation without endurance, influence without integrity, platforms without process. But you were different. You didn't chase being seen, you chased being ready. And that's why you aren't just arriving, you're ascending. Because here's what most people never understand: being chosen doesn't make you ready. It's the process that makes you ready, and you didn't just endure the process, you became it. The version of you that entered the battle isn't the version that's walking out. You are sharper, stronger, wiser, and proven. And now the doors that are opening aren't a reward. They are confirmation. Confirmation that you didn't just survive the fire, you mastered it. Confirmation that you aren't just qualified, you are prepared. So hear this clearly, you weren't just chosen because of your potential. You were proven through your process. And now the world is about to see what heaven has known all along. You are ready, not because of luck, not because of favor, but because you were proven worthy of what you're about to carry.